Hello, beloved netizens, and welcome back to a reading wrap-up. I achieved my Goodreads reading goal as of now, and then some more. But it was not through the typical means that I would usually take. But you know what? I'm actually quite proud of the fact that I have read more than 25 books this year. Like, I was not expecting to complete my reading goal, but I am in fact unemployed and not in the process of getting any formal education. This lighting is weird. Oh wait, ugh. You know what, let me get rid of my bottle. Yeah, so I'm unemployed anyways, and I have no life, but people unemployed read more books than me anyways. But I'm proud of myself. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm proud of myself. Should I use this candle as a mic? You know what? I will. Okay. So the last time we were here, I was in the middle of reading. I don't even remember what I was in the middle of reading. I just remember I finished Uprooted by Naomi Novik, and I had 3 books in progress. I had 3 books that I had left to read, and I have completed reading those. So let's start by talking about those. The first one was Boyfriend Material. I'm sick of talking about this book. What did I even give it? I gave it 1 star, and my Goodreads review of it says, will this phone please load? 1, 2, 3, 4, Mississippi 5. That's not how it goes. T minus Mississippi 1? I don't know, bro. Anyways, I hated reading this book, and I usually never listen to music while reading a book because it kind of takes me out of like the concept. It takes away my... Bro, I cannot speak, I swear to God. It messes with my concentration. Yeah, that's why I do not use music to like do tasks because I have problems processing mentally. That's why I cannot listen to music. That's what I was trying to say. I cannot multitask. I'm not one of those people. So as I was reading this book, I was getting like extremely bored. My mind kept straying to other things. So I went to Spotify. I got the first playlist of classical music because I cannot read with music that has words. They're gonna clash. So I just got classical music. I read this book, and it still took me 3 days like to complete 50%. Ugh. So yeah, I completed the book. 1 star. Deserves lesser, to be honest. But the worst part about this book, it was the fact that I did laugh. I did laugh at the funny bits. Like, some of the dry humor really got to me. And I hated it even more because you made me suffer for reading it, and then you're giving me a good time. I have a toxic relationship with this book. So in my Goodreads review, I write, sucked the life out of me, 0 stars. Would have cried because this book refused to end. Yeah, it was so slow. Like 50% taking 3 days. Seriously? Maybe I should speak a little slower so my mind has time to process what I'm trying to say. It's not like I'm running out of time or anything, okay? Okay, yeah, 1 star, awful. And the next one, I finally finished reading The Last Graduate, the 2nd book in the Skullman series by Naomi Novik. This one, it was a little hard because I love the ending. I love the ending, okay? It was shocking, it gave me a thrill, and it had a pretty hype moment at the end because I can't say a spoiler, but yeah, pretty hype moment with a particular monster. And but the problem with this book was it just suffered with so much exposition. Like, did I need to know all that information? Like, let me try to think of an analogy. It's like asking someone how they got their, like, where they bought their car, and before they tell you where they bought their car, they tell you about every single model that was similar to that car and the entire history of that car and how that car came to be, and then they tell you which dealership they went to get that car. And it's pages long. I hated it. So it was like 70% exposition, 30% plot. Like this book, this is the thickness of what that book was probably was, and this would be the thickness without all the exposition in the book. Do you understand? Like, oh my god, it was awful. I don't know what I gave it. What rating did I give it? I gave it a 1 star. Yeah, that's deserved. But still, unfortunately, because of the ending, I will read the 3rd book at some point, but I'm not gonna subject myself to that torture just yet. And I think the last book that I had pending from back then was Aristotle and Dante Dive into the Waters of the World, the sequel to the first book. 4.5 stars. I loved it. I don't know why I stopped reading it. Maybe because I binged the first one and I was having fatigue like reading the second one. So I stopped. But then I finished it so quick once I started getting into it. And this book genuinely is like really special. It's a good coming of age novel, and it deals with all the complicated feelings one has when they're growing up, with their relationships with their family, their friends. And honestly, as you grow up, you do have to deal with like the dumb shit that happens in the world and how awful things can be. And I feel like this book tackled that topic very nicely, actually, through the eyes of Aristotle, as he just sees the bullshit going on around the world, especially because this book is set in like the 80s, I think. And yeah, the 80s were a weird time to be a queer person, and an awful time, to be honest, because there was so much stigma, especially including the AIDS crisis, which is a topic that this book tackles really well through the eyes of like a 17-year-old. And yeah, I really love this book. 4.5, obviously, and there were some things in here that were genuinely shocking and upsetting. Like, you know that thing that happens when a chapter is going just a little too well, and the main character is just a bit too happy that you can tell that something awful is about to happen to them to completely ruin their day? That's exactly what happened in this book. And I was like, I clocked it, but I'm still upset about this. So yeah. And those are all the pending books that I had. And so with Aristotle and Dante, my book like list came up to 23 by that point. So I had 2 more books to read. So I was contemplating, I didn't really want to start any series because, oh god, girl, I cannot complete them. I have so much trouble with them. I have attention issues. So anyways, I was like, girl, I don't want to read another series. But then I remember making my friend, like, I call her my friend. She's basically my wife. Ha! Not in a gay way. In a gay way? No. Anyways, I told her, I make her empty promises like all the time. She tells me to read a book and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put it in my list. I do put it in my list, but do I ever get around to it? We don't know. So she'd been telling me for years to read Six of Crows. And I've been meaning to read Six of Crows, okay, for a while, years, ever since I first knew of this book, because Cindy Pham from Read With Cindy, she loves this book. Like, any person ever that I've ever heard even mention this book, they have nothing but praises for it. Sure, people may criticize the Grisha trilogy, but this duology, this is like the holy grail of young adult novels, even though I would not personally classify it as young adult due to the settings and the nature of the characters or what happens in the novels. But yeah, I read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. Did I cry? I guess I did shed a tear in Crooked Kingdom. I knew, listen, when I went into the book, mild spoiler alert for someone who's not read it, but it's not technically a spoiler. I'm not telling you who it is, but someone dies in the book, right? It's like the thing that everyone cries about. And I was like, oh my god, who is gonna die? There were death flags for completely different characters, and I remember going, oh, if this person dies, I'm gonna cry. That person did not die. They were very well alive, and the person I never expected to die died. And the death was so lackluster. Like, I was reading that scene on my phone, and when that person died, I was like, that's it? Nothing? Like, I was so baffled. I did not. I tried to emotionally process it, but I just did not care for that death, and that was it was so stupid. I mean, it was not technically stupid because it goes along with their arc, but I don't think it was executed in a proper way. That character was not given their flowers properly, and I was just not. Ugh, I did not fuck with it. The thing that was not the thing that made me shed tears. It was the reaction of the rest of the cast of characters that made me go, oh my god, this is sad. Okay, this is sad. I can see what that was sad. But I do feel like the first book, Six of Crows was great. I think it's an absolute masterclass in high stories. Like, it was perfect, bro. I do not have anything but praises for it. Yeah, I spaced out for a second. Yeah, I only have praises for the first book. I love it in the same way I love Jade City. And I feel like Jade City and Six of Crows are like cousins. That's why I love those books. It has the character writing was absolutely great, the pacing, the plot, and oh god, there's so many things I could say about this book. But oh my god, we're already at 12 minutes. I have a lot of books to talk about. So yeah, I love Six of Crows, but I did not like Crooked Kingdom as much because I felt like it had a lot of pacing issues. The story was kind of all over the place. It was not as tight as the first book. And yeah, the that was also bleh. So Six of Crows was 5 out of 5. Crooked Kingdom, 3 out of 5 stars. Kaz and Ines though, it was so good. It was so good. Now with Crooked Kingdom, that ended my Goodreads challenge for the year, which was 25 books. I reached 25 books. And now that pressure was off my mind, I could just read anything I wanted. I didn't have to worry about anything. And I know you're not supposed to think like that mindset is not very healthy, but I have a bad thing with like not being productive enough. I always feel like I'm not being productive enough. I'm not consuming enough media to improve my media literacy skills. And like thinking critically and always scrolling. I'm trying to minimize the amount of scrolling that I do, but yeah, I want to consume media, but I have this thing where I do not have the ability to consume media in a normal way. Like, I have to consume it. Do you understand? I need to know everything about it. I can't just watch a movie and be like, oh yeah, it was fine. I have to be like, oh, this thing was about this thing. And what were the choices behind the story? Why was this particular choice made with like the plot and the character, the way the character was played and what was going on inside the character and what the story could be an allegory for. I cannot accept the fact that a curtain was blue. I cannot accept the fact that the curtain was just blue. I know it's just blue sometimes, but I cannot accept it. Okay. So yeah, where was I going with this? The challenge was over. I could read anything I wanted. So I just made the next 3 books were just complete impulse decisions. I was talking about these books to my friends. Singular. I was talking about them to one friend, And I told her it was like a cheap cigarette that you know it's trash, but are you still gonna smoke it? Yeah. It's just a fun time. So these books were my equivalent of The Curtains Were Just Blue. And for people who have not watched any of my previous videos, in the video that I did like in August, I think, I mentioned that I read the series, the Straight Guy series by Alessandra Hazard, and it was just a bit wrecked and just a bit unhealthy. And the problem with these books is awful gay erotica. It's trash. It has nothing. I mean, sometimes they have substance to it, but it's just, ugh, it's just so funny. Like, you cannot take these books serious. I just remember at like 3 a.m. one night a couple weeks ago, I was like, I'm in the mood to read trash. So I went back and like read one of the books, Just a Bit Obsessed. And I was just having a good time. It was so funny though. So I read Just a Bit Obsessed. And the thing about these books is you finish them really, really fast, okay? I finished 2 books in a span of 24 hours. I read Just a Bit Obsessed, 1 out of 5 stars. Just a Bit Confusing, also 1 out of 5. And the next one, I bumped up the score. Just a Bit Wrong was 2 out of 5 stars. Because the main character, Tristan, I liked Tristan's story because he made me feel something. There was a little bit nuance to his character. The problem with these books usually is that the top is so macho. He's always a dom, and it pisses me off because every single one of the tops in this series has the same personality, the same physical traits, and girl, there is no variety, and the bottoms are always the submissive guys, and I hate it. They have no personality whatsoever. They could literally, if you put them in a lineup, I would not know who was who. They're the same goddamn person. But Tristan was actually interesting. I loved the relationship. I mean, I can't say I loved it, but there was, I mean, just a bit unhealthy. One of the main characters, the bottom, was Gabriel, and Tristan is Gabriel's adopted brother, and they have like bad blood between them. But in this book specifically, they still did have bad blood, but we also got to see the moments of like, they understood each other, that they care about each other, the moments of care they had about each other. Like Tristan was acting weird, he was not himself, and Gabe was like, I hate this guy, but I'm worried about him because he's my brother still. And I love that, okay? So yeah, I like that. I need to stop talking because this video is at 18 minutes. Oh god. Anyways, so I'm up to 28 books right now. And I remember, I did start Society of Lies, the dust jacket is off. Oh god, maybe I should put it back on because it's getting dirty. But I cannot take this book serious. I've only completed like that first part, a little of it, like maybe a third. I cannot take this book serious. It's not written properly. I do not like how it's written, and I kind of regret buying this book because $20 for a shit hardcover. Nuh-uh. Yeah, that's all I've read so far. So yeah, that was my November reading wrap up, I guess. How many books did I read in November? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, I finished reading 3 books. And I read 5 books in November? Wow, that's crazy. That's a record. Anyways, I'm gonna go. This video is like 20 minutes. Way too long to yap. So, bye.